Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money never, money never, money never, money never, money not. Never money, money never money, money. You can keep your conniving money when you've been a corrupt. You have been tell me. Money down, you come with conniving money. Then you had your pocket full. Now because your money down, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money never, money never, money, money never, money, money. Now do what you conniving money. Never joker, never joker, never joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money never, money never, money never, money. I don't want you conniving money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politicians, they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, with Jah as ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. Stop fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up past low poor people governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Quinton Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Are you big and tall and feel left out? Well, Full Spectrum Boutique has you.
Arriving in the UK from Guyana, the Caribbean, North America, or elsewhere, start your journey with ease and comfort by choosing first-class travel service, one of UK's leading providers of premium airport transfers. Enjoy a smooth, stress-free arrival by booking your comfortable and reliable airport taxi before you arrive. With affordable rates and exceptional service, we cover all major UK airports, including Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester, Birmingham, and many more. Wherever you land, we guarantee a seamless door-to-door experience to and from any UK airport. For your peace of mind, all our drivers are fully DBS checked and cleared, ensuring a safe and trustworthy service from the moment you arrive. Our friendly staff will meet and greet you in the airport arrival hall, assist with your luggage, and escort you to one of our luxurious vehicles. So wait no longer. We're ready to look after you from the moment you arrive in the UK. You can contact us via email info@firstclasstravelservice.co.uk, office phone +4 4195 2287 176, WhatsApp +4 479 136 0576 5 or +4 479 009 50171, or simply fill in our request, a quote form, at www.firstclasstravelservice.co.uk. Travel with confidence. Travel first class.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168. T&W Harris Butcher Shop, for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, El Dorado, rest of all the world away. In my heart wherever I wander, memory enshrined thee. All my hopes and aspirations, all my longings, only tie everlasting bonds around us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana, El Dorado, my Guyana, times unfolding and for my destiny. The redeeming, lasting splendor of our years and lost to me, and the dawning of thy glory, for the long, long night is past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Together, my comrades, we will build our new Guyana, a country where all have equal opportunity. So let us begin now to show loyalty to Guyana by showing love and respect for all Guyanese.
My brothers, my sisters, we will live and die here together. Come on to one people, one nation, one destiny. For harmonious living, cooperation will be forever. In work and play as we live as proud Guyanese.
Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free.
Well, it's time we said, all the nations in the interior, our natural resources are there in great quantity. And we will do farming and establish towns by the border. With global food so we could fill all Guyanese.
My greatest desire is to serve my country, Guyana, and sincerely help Guyana to move along. Our government asks us that we study hard and we learn the things that will help Guyana to become strong. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. To help develop Guyana the free.
Hey, morning, are you morning, morning, are you morning? Morning, neighbor, morning, how are you do? It's 7 hours 40 on the 30th day of June in the year 2026. How you do? How was it yesterday? How was it last night? How you feeling this morning? Are you going to help me to develop this country? Are you going to help me to serve this country? Are you going to help me to hold government accountable? Are you going to help me to demand good governance in this country? Y'all talk to me morning, 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 morning. Share the live, spread the word. Call a friend, tell a friend that I am on this morning. As them boys say, I ain't 100, but I can't afford not to be here. We got work to do. You know? You gotta want it bad enough. You have to want it bad enough to make the sacrifices that are necessary to be made. You have to be willing. So call a friend, tell him we're on this morning. We might be 100, but we know that we gotta be here. Because if we here, somebody gotta be here. Somebody gotta fill the gap. Somebody gotta stand in the gap. You know? Morning, Ayo. Oh, I know I do. How was I last night? What am yesterday for y'all? I know a lot went on yesterday. I know what's happening. I'm not oblivious. So what's happening? I know what's happening. We're gonna talk about some of the things that are happening. Thank you to that person yesterday morning while we were talking. I did say I was talking about Little Saint and his energy, let me call it that. And I did say yesterday morning, well, the last song I heard him perform on social media was called Stress Them, and I didn't have the time to look for Stress Them and song. But last evening I was going through my chats and I realized somebody actually sent me, I think it's a YouTube link to Stress Them. And so I will.
All right.
That song goes for this is Stress Them.
You know, say you make an enemy create a fake profile just to keep up with your lifestyle. I said they got hide behind the bar. Them can't come out with a real profile. So here we gonna do them.
We gon' stress them. Post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gon' get it right. We gon' stress them. Post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gon' get it right. Hey. Some of them is witch, hate them bitch. Man chewing shit, acting like gal. The more them hate, we the stand tall. To be a bold bad man, you got brave bar. Some of them really puggle you and run your profile every day. Them should be before they utilize the time and make some money. They make you happy life a whole damn study. When you check them pages, cockroach. Them when you forgot a man, them got a rose. Them must be the type comment anymore. Always talking negative about your post. And when you check it, the fighting for likes. Just like, oh, they're fighting for them life. Yeah, still less than 100 likes. For the more you talk, we just be popular. Stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they can get it right. We gon' stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they can get it right.
Walk out for your enemy. Turn wrong for your enemy. The enemies, middle fingers up for the enemies. Them just got you on their mind when you're free. Them we never study breakfast nor tea. Everything on their mind is bout Barbie. Y'all in the pushy level, y'all just low.
We gon' stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gon' get it right. We gon' stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gon' get it right. Hey, when you check them pages, cockroach. Them we never got a man, them got a rose. Them must be the type comment anymore. Always talking negative about your post. And when you check it, the fighting for likes. Just like, oh, they're fighting for them life. Yet still less than 100 likes. For the more you talk, we just be popular.
That was the same performing Stress Them for you. It's the official audio, not necessarily video. Based on the person, they're working on the video. You know, I don't know. I sit and I think about these things, and we usually argue that we don't give people their flowers while they're alive and so on and so forth. And that's a fact. We don't, a lot of us are haters when people are alive and they're trying to get things done. Things that we see as elevating them, things that we see as drawing attention to them and so on and so forth. We are hateful, we are grudgeful, we bad-minded and disruptive and so on. While the people are alive and they're trying to make strides. And then when they die, we find all the energy, all the time in the world to pick them up and to recognize and, promote what they were doing and so on and so forth. I don't know mankind's taste, but this is the nature of man. But what I'm hoping, even last night when I realized I got this link from the person, I was saying, I don't know. I hope that is surviving family members can really benefit in some way, shape, or form from his artistic energy and the produce of his artistic energy, in that his music can be cataloged and they can be appropriately copyrighted and so on and so forth. So it becomes a real part of his legacy that his immediate and extended family can benefit from. But even in that thought, I started thinking, we ain't got no copyright laws in this country. This country shows no respect for artists. It shows no respect for creatives. And so I don't know, definitely that is among the reasons our artists and they produce whatever they produce doesn't get too far, and they don't really benefit enough from it to want to pursue it long enough and hard enough and so on and so forth. But I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that in some way, shape, or form, his work can be cataloged and protected, and so that the family benefits from it. I don't know how they will benefit from it, but I'm not a specialist in these areas. I just like think outside the box, let me see. Good. I just like to think outside the box. So those of you who have the knowledge, who have the know, those of you even are in authority and can make this happen, I encourage you. Reach out there, see how you can put it together, and at least leave a really, really lasting memory to his relatives and friends, and in this nation. A young man of talent, I will give him that. I've heard, like I said, I used to listen to some of his songs and so on and so forth. He first came to my attention, I think, during the Soko Monarch. February it would have been. I think that is when I must have paid most attention, because they had all, Guyana always with a session when it comes to national events and so on, and how those who don't understand culture and are in charge of culture treat people who are the custodians of culture, right? And so I remember the fallouts, Soca Monarch performance and dancehall performance and so on and so forth. And as usual, we just put all the business on social media, we just cuss up and go on and so I think. And so through that medium, I got to learn of the artists and, of course, started paying some attention. And he has some good songs and so on, exhibited good energy and thing. But like I'm saying again, we don't have the laws to protect creatives in this country. And so people really don't get the maximum benefits out of their creative energies. And most of the people who are creatives in this country do it just for the love of doing it. Every now and again, they got hope of making it big and so on, but they, for the most part, they do it out of the love of doing it. And sometimes some of them get, really, really capitalize on it. Big up Samuel Medas. Is that his name? I recognize. I saw Medas yesterday promoting a recording studio. Right. So big up, brother. Big up on your achievement. I like to see when young people achieve things, and positive things which can contribute to their not only their own upward mobility, but that of their communities. And so big up to Medas. If I come across that information again, I know I came across it. What did I do with it? You see, most times I find these things on my phone if I'm looking through TikTok and so on. But definitely, it's a positive. It's another recording studio, and I would say safe space that some of our youngsters can go to and get their stuff recorded and stuff like that. You know, because it starts with a dream. And Medas has been around for a while. He is definitely against the international scene, and I'm sure by now he has learned how to protect his music and so on and so forth. I would assume because he has been out there on the international stage, and so maybe he can provide some guidance, some support to the youngsters here who are now trying to, get stuff done, use their creative energies and get stuff done. I'm almost sure that he's a smart businessman and would be able to separate his religion from his business. And so I have no fear that those who produce secular music would very well be able to use his recording facilities, because he is a top gospel artist in this country and a member of the Christian community and so on. I dare say an ambassador of the Christian community. And so those who are producing secular music may very well be timid about approaching him to use his recording facilities and so on. But that's a business. And my strong belief is that he is a smart enough businessman to be able to separate the two. Right? And so, youngsters, if you're looking for that place, that spot to, immortalize your voice and your talent and so on, maybe you can reach out to Samuel Medas. I don't have the information at hand to tell you how to get him and so on, but this is digital time, man. This is a digital period, and so quickly you can get onto social media, you can get onto YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Ask Google, make Google your best friend, even ask ChatGPT and so on and so forth, and you'll be able to get that information. Right? That's my encouragement to you. And again, once again, congratulations, Medas. You've been breaking barriers, you've been climbing heights, and it's good to see when young folks are doing what they enjoy and they can be able to quote unquote profit from it. I want to see more of those. And in the same breath, I wonder what happened to the government's recording studios that they were building. They had one in Barbies, right? They had one in Barbies. I wonder what happened with the one. Last I know, they had claimed that they were close to opening it and operationalizing it and so on and so forth. I wonder what happened to them. I can't see. Anybody knows? In this society, some things just raise their heads, make a noise, and then they die down, and they die some sudden and quiet deaths. You don't even realize that they existed at any point in time. So there's a question: what is happening with the government recording studios? Not that I believe that the government should be in the business of building recording studios, but the question is, what has happened to those recording studios that the government claimed that it was building for the benefit of the Guyanese people? Y'all could find out and let me know when y'all know. Good. It's 6 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. I am not at my best. I guess you can see. Those who know me would know that I'm not at my utmost. My energy levels are not where they're supposed to be. I was hoping to, and still I'm hoping to go out there and support Annette. Remember, Annette is out there today at the Square of the Revolution from 10 o'clock, protesting, drawing attention to the efforts of the PPP to resurrect the former president's benefits and other facilities Act of 2009, which by my estimation will cost us another $100 or $200 million yearly for 4 former presidents or so. Right, so Annette is out there continue to draw attention to this bill that will support covetousness, gluttony. We like to say you scream, right? The theft, the misuse, the misdirection of our resources and so on. So join Annette, 10 o'clock this morning. Square of the Revolution. I said I'm hoping that I can go there, but like I said, I get him big. I get him big. It's good when you can recognize that you're getting big. Some people don't like when I say I'm getting old. They prefer me say getting big. So the energy levels, I guess the energy levels I exhibited 5 years ago, and this is something I keep saying to people. You're not going to always be at that stage of your life where you're full of energy. You might gain wisdom, you might get real wisdom, and so on and so forth. But the wisdom that you get should also help you to recognize and reconcile with the fact that your body is aging and your energy levels are reducing. And so the things you did at 16 are not the things you can do at 21 and 26 and 40 and so on and 50 and past 50 and so on and so forth. So you have to let that wisdom guide you. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change, a lot of approaches to a lot of other things and so on. And that's why sometimes when I talk about our politics, I ask myself why, political leadership in this part of the world especially continues to have to be in the 70s and 80s and 90s and 100 and so on. Why we wait until people get to those age to really give them, as I would say, political power to see what they really can contribute to the growth and development of their country and their region? Why not while they're young and full of energies and ideas, and they can not only have ideas, but they have the energy to work those ideas? Why do we do it? Why do we do it? I continuously tell y'all, I am a limited edition. I'm a limited edition. I don't see myself in politics into my 70s, at least the kind of active politics that I'm involved in, the kind of activism and the get up and run politics that I'm involved in. I don't see myself doing this for another 20 years. I'm being very honest. I'd rather know that I can contribute when I can contribute with the energy levels that I have, and then I can sit in my corner and provide guidance for a younger group of people. Right? Provide guidance and support for a younger group of people. Push them to the front and let them do what they gotta do. That's how I see my life. I don't know how other people who are activists see their lives. Maybe some people want to draw the last breath on the political stage. Me no bother. And so I'm starting to take into consideration that I'm getting older, and I am, I'm starting to feel age. Whether y'all want to acknowledge it or not, I starting to feel my age. A lot of people don't like to acknowledge that they're getting older, right? And they're geriatrics and so on. There's no fool like an old fool. And when we want to be old fools and we want to fool ourselves, then we do so at our own detriment. Well, anyway, yeah, it's a minute to 8 o'clock. And there are a number of things I want to talk about apart from, those which I've already mentioned. One of the things prevalent in the society this morning is a discussion about cash grant. Because we gave cash grant for the students, a lot of people had their feelings hurt recently. A lot of people continue to have their feelings hurt. A lot of families are going to have some serious disagreements leading to breakups even as a result of this because we gave cash grant that the government started paying yesterday, I think. First thing I recognize, and everything in this country and in politics and economics is interconnected. And a lot of people perhaps don't recognize that, and they pay a blind eye to it until it is too late. One of the things I heard yesterday is that the Ministry of Education, previously, the Ministry of Education used teachers, or they have always used teachers to pay out the cash grant to the recipients of the cash grant, the Because We Care cash grant. So they don't come with their accounting offices and all of that. They turn teachers into accounting offices and pay clerks and so on, and they use those teachers to pay. Previously, I understand that they provided a stipend, let me call it a stipend, to all the teachers and staff, a stipend of about $10,000 when they're paying cash grant. So whatever the number of days that cash grant is paid over, at the end of it, all teachers and staff will get a $10,000 honorarium. Let me call it honorarium. Now, these people, this time around, they've changed the policy, from my understanding, to only class teachers will pay cash grant, and only those class teachers will get the $10,000. Only class teachers will pay cash grant, and only those class teachers will get that $10,000. You know, as managers, sometimes I wonder how we think, and national managers especially, how we think. How much more will it cost, first and foremost, how much more will it cost really to give every teacher that $10,000? How much more? And even if it is going to cost $100 million more, is $100 million more to our educators for doing a great job? It's $100 million more maybe once a year for paying that cash grant. But while we're being mean with our teachers and saying only the class teachers will get it this time around, we are talking about a former president's benefit act that will give between $100 and $200 million to 4 persons, 4, as against maybe even $100 million more to hundreds or thousands of teachers across this country for assisting in paying the cash grant. If people can't see that as a good example of the selfishness of those people over at the PPP, and the covetousness and the greed of those people over, and the disrespect of those people over at the PPP, then I don't know what else we want as an example. You are trimming the fat, you're cutting back on every single thing that a small man can or is getting a benefit from. And you're expanding every single loophole, if I can call it that your fat cats can milk the treasury from and with. You know, one of the things that you are demoralizing the teachers to start with. It's demoralizing, because I'm not a class teacher, but I'm a part of the system. I'm part of that institution where children are receiving their cash grant, where my colleagues, because of the fact that they are class teachers, will get $10,000 as an honorarium or stipend, whatever you want to call it. And I am sitting there with dry mouth because I'm not a class teacher. I can't benefit from a $10,000. But those very class teachers who are paying those cash grants and will get $10,000 may very well need my help. May very well need my help, whether it's part of the clerical work, whether it's just keeping parents organized, maintaining order, whether it's just bringing a glass of water for them while they're under stress and strain. And so it's demoralizing, and you're dropping a wedge in between the teachers who are class teachers and the teachers who are floating teachers, as they call themselves. Because you can't ask me to do anything for you. You can't ask me nothing. Because it's you getting the $10,000. I ain't got nothing to get from this process. As a matter of fact, I should just go and sit my backside up. And then the disagreements or the fallouts, the hard feelings which start around this $10,000 stipend for paying out cash grant is one which will continue through the rest of the school term into the new term 2 years, because some people don't forget and some people don't forgive. That is what those clowns at the Ministry of Education and Finance and the government of Guyana, that's what they're setting up in our schools. Discard. I don't see it as anything else. And if you all got a disagreement with me, I would love to hear that you all disagree with my assessment. As national managers, we have to think about the impact of things on our people. Especially on our professionals. Come on, man. We could do better. The amount of money that is theft from the national treasury, that is stolen from the national treasury in this country on a hourly, minute, minute, whatever, seconds, could more than afford to give every teacher in the classrooms $10,000 during this period of paying out cash grant. The amount of wastage, as the international agencies like to call it, that takes place. Come on, man. So that's one of my concerns. The other is a lot of parents are in pain because they turn up and they're being told, you can't get no cash grant. Your child has been absent from school. Did you make that a criteria when you announced however long ago that you, because you care, you're going to give what, $85,000 to these children? Yeah, name education cash grant, but did you say that to collect this money, you have to meet some criteria like the WPA suggested when we pushed for the introduction of the direct cash payment to citizens of this country? We said that the payment of $1 million approximately to every household should be tied to certain, what did we call them? Let me call them achievables. Right? We suggested that it should be tied to people sending their children to school consistently, people ensuring that their children's health are taken care of consistently, nutrition, improved nutrition. There were a number of recommendations. There was criteria that people had to meet. So it wasn't free money as some people want to make it. But here's the PPP with their politicking, giving people the impression that y'all gonna get free money. We just care so we can give you $85,000. And then you turn up and you hear your child was absent from school for 10 sessions. They can't get the money. Were parents aware of that prior to now? At least I follow the news. I like to be in the know. I'm not aware that the PPP at any time tied it because we pay cash grant to any conditionalities. It's not a bad thing. It is a good thing to let parents understand that you have to provide evidence of these children's health being taken care of. You have to provide evidence that these children's education is being managed properly. You have to provide evidence that these children are being fed nutritionally balanced meals and so on and so forth. It's a good thing. But you got to put your cards on the table up front. Not wait until people turn up because elections are over. And you don't need a vote now, at least not for another 3, 4, 5 years. And tell them, this child has been absent for 10 sessions. Again, it reveals to me a failure of the system. Because why a child has to be absent for 10 sessions or 20 sessions or 30 sessions in a term, and only when cash grant is being paid out, the authorities are paying attention to that. From the time the child is absent for 4 sessions, 5 sessions, 6 sessions, 2 sessions, the school's welfare department is supposed to get involved. Probation officers perhaps are supposed to get involved. The school reports that this child has not been seen at school for 3 sessions consecutively. 10 sessions consecutively. Then the school's welfare department has a responsibility of going to the home of that child to find out why this child has not been attending school. And based on their findings, whether they have to haul the parents before the courts or they have to intervene with healthcare support or whatever. But no, this situation exists throughout the term, and only at the end of the term, in this instance, when they're about to pay cash grant, then you are going to be told the child was absent for 10 sessions and so they can't get the money. Is this thing a punitive thing, or this thing is supposed to be a supportive thing? If you intervene when the child was absent for 2 sessions, immediately you can rectify the situation, and so that the child gets the ability, gets the opportunity to attend school on a regular and have an education foundation. But no, we're going to wait. Old man sketch, we're going to wait till the end of the term, and then we're going to drop the lash on them. By that time, the child has suffered lost hours of learning throughout the term. And so most likely will be lagging behind the rest of the class. And even if you reintegrate them into the school system, then they're lagging, and that in itself leads to another frustration. Frustration on the teachers, frustration on the students, frustration on the parents, and stress on the system. I am not sure who Boosman Gulliver talking to, but right? This is not good governance. This is not good management. It's poor, very. And so you got a lot of parents hurt. You got a lot of children hurt and embarrassed, because it's embarrassing to turn up because your government say they care and they're giving you money, and then you turn up and your government looks at you and spits in your face and say you ain't getting no money here because we ain't see you for 10 sessions. In the world of politics, I should be happy because the government is making more people disgruntled and angry with them. And so, yes, they're going to lose votes and so on. I should be happy. But I'm concerned about human relations and development and growth of our children and so on and so forth. So despite the government is making stupid political decisions, I'm still concerned about the impact of those decisions on the lives of these children and their parents. And for those parents, they say you gotta live in a house to know where it leaks. I'd want to believe that every parent would like to have an educated child. And so the question is, why parents are not sending their children to school despite the fact that they're getting $85,000? My first conclusion is $85,000 is woefully inadequate. It's woefully inadequate. There's number one. Yes, there's a support, but support to what? Parents who are already living in abject poverty? What they got to add to the kitty? If you are at a negative, and the positive that is added to the negative is less than the negative, you still are at a negative. And I'm talking to those of you who understand mathematics and theories. If the parents are at $170,000 deficit and struggling to send their children to school, $85,000 will take them to $85,000 deficit and still a struggle to send their children to school. So these are things we have to look into. Why? You see, and again, good governance suggests that when you implement certain policies, you have to have traces studies. How is this $85,000? How is this because we pay a grant impacting the lives of students? Is it negative? Is it positive? Has it had the intended impact or not? But all we do is throw resources. In many instances, we just throw them down black hole because we want to buy votes. And we don't do traces studies to see the impact of a whole lot of policies that we have established in the name of politics. Which right-thinking parent would get a backings of $85,000 for a child and still not send that child to school? There has to be something deeper. And so we have to get involved in the homes. We have to find out what's happening in the home. Are these people the ones living in abject poverty? Is the literacy in the home the order of the day? Are these parents illiterate? They don't even understand basic parenting. They don't understand their responsibilities, or things are just what they are that they can't really do better. I was just told a story this morning of parents fighting over the money because apparently the family has a car, and for whatever reason the car is down for several months now. And the father can't seem to get a break in terms of finding enough money to fix the car. And so he's calculating this $85,000 when we get it is for 5 or 6 children. 85 by 6 is 6, 48 is 480,000 plus 30,000. Sounds like about $510,000. $500,000 I could be able to fix this car by, because this is the car that has carried them to school, and this is the car that has transported the family, and maybe this is the car that brings income to the family because it is local taxi when the car is up and so on. And so I pray to God that this money make it space so I can get something to fix this car. But the wife got other plans. I pray to God that this money make it pay like get for buy $100,000 a week. And so mother and father are at loggerhead because they're fighting over this money now. This money either should fix the car or buy the wig, or look after the children, right? And so this family got a rift now. Because if the father wins out and gets the money to fix the car, maybe whether you call it bullyism or whatever, then the wife is upset because she can't get to buy she wig and flash her body. And if she gets to buy the wig and whatever else she wants and the car remains there unfixed, then the whole family suffers. No income to come from the car through taxi. No relief for the children because they got their reliable transportation to take them to and from school. And so again, somebody needs to intervene in a situation like that so that, as I would say, better sense can prevail. Because obviously you got people who are not thinkers in that family. No child left behind. Scrapes. Don's parents will provide for us in this society, Don's children. So these things are not isolated. These things are all interconnected. And some people might see it as simple in terms of decision making, because I know immediately that the priority there should be to fix the car. But it's not everybody that is socialized in that way. Right? And so these are some of the issues that you're confronted with in the society, and then the government doesn't make it easier because the government itself makes a set of poor policies and poor decisions. But I wish y'all luck with the $85,000 cash grant. I hope that they, just as they're paying the cash grant, they can pay the transportation grant or whatever they promised the pensioners, because the pensioners have not gotten what they were promised either. So I'm hoping that they can pay the pensioners. But the big picture for me is how this government is setting up poor people, as I like to say, to fight over less than 500 US dollars every once in a while. But they have taken a bill to the National Assembly that will give them 4 former presidents hundreds of millions of dollars at their disposal every year once that bill gets passed. That is what should be concerning. Compare your $85,000 once a year to $100 or $200 million a year. If you were to divide your $85,000 by 12 months, 12 6 is 72, 12 7 is 84, so it's about $7,000 a month, let's say. So compare your $7,000 a month to $200 million a year. You divide 200 million by 12, sounds like some money. Right? Compare that. They ain't fighting over it. They simply legislated and they getting it. And you gotta fight. And the funny thing is, they ain't checking what the former presidents are doing or not doing. There's no real criteria. They ain't gotta do so many hours of community work. They ain't gotta do so many hours of lectures. They ain't gotta do so many hours of volunteerism per month, per day, per week, per year to get this money. All they got to do is get the title former president. Y'all can decide if y'all want to sit back and relax and enjoy the show, enjoy the ride, enjoy the ride indeed, enjoy being ridden the way the PPP is setting us up to be ridden. Good. It's 24 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. Like I say, the lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. Let's come out on the 6th. Monday the 6th of July. Raise our voices. Let them know that all can be well in this country with the disparities that we are seeing. Join Annette today because Annette is going to be at the Square of the Revolution, bringing attention to the same situation that we intend to continue to bring attention to on the 6th of July. I'll be outside at Buxton Church of God Road there. And like I say, you can be there with us, or you can decide that you're going to form your own protest line in front of your communities across Guyana. Okay? The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I see Harriet is saying one of them didn't give cash grant, but he gave school support in the terms of books and so on and so forth. I don't know why we always run back to Barnum. We got more recent examples. The Granger administration gives support to our children. And out of the same recognition that a lot of parents might misuse the money or mismanage the money, and families would have more priorities for spending that money. The Granger administration provided hot meals, they provided transportation, they provided classroom support, and so on and so forth. And I will continue to believe that that provided more benefits to the children. But again, a psychological war out there, the PPP want to mess with your minds and your psyche. And so the nature of mankind, money in the hand, is more impressive than long-term support. And so they settled for money in the hand, short-term support as against long-term support. Caller on, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Gaddafi. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers. Blessings. Mr. Granger, this bill that they're trying to do away with and put their own bill in place, I haven't heard a word from Mr. Granger concerning that bill that they want to take away and put their bill in place. I mean, he fought for that bill. Shouldn't he come out and say something? He hasn't said a word about it. You know, it looks like if he doesn't care or whatever, at least he could say something. That's my point for the morning.
Thank you for your call. As I like to say, rather all those of you waiting for Granger to see something. All those of you believe that Granger must say something. Yeah, wait, hold your breath. I wish you a long life. Right? Look around this country, man. This country got a history of former presidents' activism. This country has no history of former presidents' activism. Most former presidents and former politicians, if you ask me, when they retire, they go quietly in the corner and they continue to suck whatever sweet they can out of the coffers of this country. They ain't got no time with the ordinary man and woman and the challenges that the ordinary man and woman will face. Granger had the decency to come out and address the Guyanese people to talk about what led to the demise of his government when he was forced out of office or lost power, whatever you want to see it as. Several years, more than what, about 10 years now, you still believe or you're still holding your breath and believe that Granger gonna come out and talk about this resurrection of this 2009 benefits bill? I don't think so. I don't expect Granger to come out and talk about anything, as a matter of fact. And so I could stay under the rock and hope that he comes out, but I know he ain't coming. I can't say I know he's not coming out. I know so far he has not come out. And I don't know. They say constant banging destroyed Pearl Harbor. And so y'all could constantly call for Granger and hope that he can get fed up of hearing the name call and he gonna come out. But if I know Granger is supposed to be a July born man like me, y'all could talk till spit turn blood. Right? We could be, as Dennis said yesterday, we could be damn stubborn, you know. Right? So I believe that in his stubbornness, I don't expect Granger will come out and say anything. But I could continue to call on Granger to say. What difference Granger saying is going to make? You think the PPP got any respect for Granger? That, anyhow, let me leave that where it is. The lines remain open 62593 change the number. Right? This is a man who tell you during the election season that he is defending. Remember the lawsuit? I wonder whatever happened to the lawsuit. Y'all remember the big lawsuit that Granger had filed against who? I can't remember. Excuse me. But he was defending his name. Let me see that. In the filing of that lawsuit, or the threat to file that lawsuit. I think that lawsuit was filed. But this is a man who told you that he accepted no declaration and no elections, that the people are questioning the results because he got my analogy, in my conclusion, is good name to protect and so on. He's willing to defend that in the court and so on, but he ain't willing to defend the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who defended him and lifted him up to higher heights to enjoy the benefits that he enjoys now, and will definitely continue to enjoy for the rest of his life, whether those benefits are disproportionate compared to what the ordinary man and woman enjoys. So I don't know about you. I don't know about you. 28 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. The lines remain open. 622-5933 is the number to call. Call and talk to me. Tell me, what your thoughts are on this cash grant situation and so on and so forth. Yes, let's talk about that. Let's talk about cash grant situation and the way, your government is treating you and the elders. I noticed condolences to the people in Nabaklis. It was a hit and run that took the life of two residents of Nabaklis, motorcycle rider and a spill-on rider, I think. 2 nights ago? 2 nights ago, I think. And so they're asking for help to identify the vehicle. And of course, the driver that was involved in that hit and run. Because, as it would appear, the motorcyclist and his spill-on rider were struck down. One of the persons were dragged for some distance by the vehicle that struck them down. And of course, the driver of the vehicle made good his escape. And so 2 persons are now dead, and nobody as yet is being held to account for that. So if any of you have information about who might have been the beast that committed this act, share it with the police at least, so that that person or persons can be brought to justice. Caller, you're on. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone listening. Now, I saw a disturbing, I think it's a TikTok clip about the children cause we give cash grant. So I'd like to know if that goes to every child, because I'm asking, my granddaughter, her mother is in the interior, and sometimes she would go up into the interior to spend her holiday. And to come out from the interior, if it is flat, let them, it's no problem. But where our mother is located, it's Monkey Mountain. A distance, I think, is 90 miles from Lethem to there. And in order for you to come out, they don't have a regular transportation like how you could go out and stop a bus. You got get somebody who is coming out, you got to pay and so. And sometimes, excuse me, on your way out or in, if you encounter difficulties like in this rainy season where the rainfall or a bridge float breakdown or so, it's problem, or the truck breakdown. So she had a little problem there. So I want to know, and at that time the mother decided to let her go to a school in where she was. She returned. I went to the school where she normally attends, and I explained. I wanted to write like a notice to the school, like a letter explaining the absence and allowing them to know the child was still in school, though she wasn't on the register in there. So I wanted to know what will happen to a child like that. Now, when test is over and these teachers have to do the records, they wouldn't be able, they got to do records of the children thing. So many children and many parents may opt to keep the children home because there is no parent, teacher, guide, or teacher is there wholly and solely responsible for the children. So I want to know if those children will fall into the same thing as being flogged for call that is non-attendance to school. Oh, that is what I want to know. And the next thing, moving forward, lots of people are very sympathetic to Venezuela. But with all you have sympathy for Venezuela, we must remember Guyana is one of the peaceful countries. We don't, So we now fight to take away peaceful land. Venezuela collected and cocoa with all it wasn't there. And Venezuela is always on an aggressive move to take over Essequibo. Excuse me. Lately, they had the thing with the woman who went to CARICOM with Essequibo included on the Venezuelan map. People, we must, God say he would fight our battles. And if the destruction of Venezuela in the form of earthquakes, if God will have destroying them, I'm telling you I'm happy. You know why? Because I have little cousins, see, white and black. I got little cousins who are in the soldier, who are soldiers. I got little friends who are soldiers who would call me Miss Rhonda, Auntie Rhonda. And every time I pass anywhere and I see a soldier in uniform, out of those soldiers, I have not counted 100 Indian or Kuli soldiers. They are all black. Those people, those soldiers, some of them got mother, father, children, wife, brother, sister, uncle, auntie, all the relations there. And when they go out to the Guyana-Venezuelan border with guns aiming at them and they get cut down by the enemy power, who is Venezuela? Who will you have more sympathy for? Who will you share your sympathy for? Will you share the sympathy of a country that it all, if not short time before this earthquake, the woman is still such a business about the ICJ saying she for one would have been attacking to take away Esquibo. Guyanese people, Guyanese people, Guyanese people, y'all study what y'all want. If God come up to assist us, because all we guys slingshot, them AK we see we them finding now go and them things of Venezuela got more powerful than AK. And if God said, you know what, I gonna stop y'all in your tracks, y'all stop putting a spike in God's way. Let God do what he got to do. Because let me tell you something. I wouldn't like to know one of me little relatives that is not my blood relatives. What does call me auntie and go to the border and come back like how one of these soldiers come back in 1969 with maggots running all over, a horse walking with a boot, a cap, a thing, and a belt, and the boots turn in the what you call it, it turn backward. They got a name for they got a name for it. They put the boots on, and the horse was walking by itself to signify that this soldier is no longer. I listened to the gun salute. I was smart. That was 1969. I listened to the gun salute. I listened. I hear the bugle, all them things. I know what we lost. I was privileged to meet that soldier brother early this year because he came and living out in the States. And he spoke about his brother that he lost in 1969 with the disturbance of Venezuela trying to take away, I think it's Coco. So people, when y'all look to talk, y'all thank God for what God is doing. If God decides to destroy them with our faith, let be the pestilence of our faith so that we can live to see many more days. Because if the earthquake didn't come, sometimes they might have launched a massive attack on Guyana. Bye-bye.
The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. It's 19 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour, and you're tuned to the Guyanese morning time. Let me see. We have a voice note. In fact, we have two voice notes. Call you on. Good morning.
Good morning, Kadaki. I give you full support for the protest coming up on the 6th of July. And I want to say something else today about this government. You know, this I want to talk in common language, in broken, because I want to echo Mr. Jordan from last Thursday, some of the things he said. But I want to talk in broken language because the people who does get tricked in this country is most of the people who speak in broken language, as they don't understand a lot of grammatical English sometimes. All right. So yes, this PPP government, they get so beefy that they are continuing to joke away high in broad daylight, and we are getting excited about it. This new bank, what they talk about, this new bank, when I think about it, it's just like the sex offender register, what the minister come out and say, this register going to be lodged with the commissioner of police. You know what I find out? According to my analysis, the most sex offender in Guyana, they're in the government and in high offices. Those are the most sex offenders we have. In this PPP government have them, and they're in high office. So now when they lodge the register, which means when they lodge the file with them, what do then little girl, all them kind of nastiness what they want to do them, bully them and do them, you gotta go to the commissioner, forget it. And the commissioner is one of them too. He's one of them. He's part of the PPP. So how you gonna get to know who is a sex offender really? Instead of lodging it with the commissioner, that should be putting on lantern posts. Let the whole everybody see. Put them picture and put what them do. So people gonna know them. But no. So they keep joking we eye and we smiling and we think, oh yeah, the government doing good. Political stunt, man. Yeah, so this bank now, right? I understand according to me own understanding. The bank, one thing they say, I get two red flags. One, the bank may or may not charge interest. You know what I mean? They're going to be selective when you go for borrow money, whether they want to charge you interest or whether they want to just lend you the money just so without charging interest. And if you put two to two together, you're going to know is who then go mostly charge interest and who then go just give the money like that. Think about it. You think they're going to give the people who want to support them this money without interest, everybody like that? You think they're going to do that? No, man, I don't know. I know in the PPP, I don't think they will do that. The next thing, right? The bank may or may not lend with collateral. Well, this collateral they talk about mean that you have to lodge some security, which means if you get a house or you get a car or whatever you got, or you get a transport or something that you got to lodge when you go for borrow the money. That's what they call collateral, right? So who you think they're gonna call for collateral for? If they come and watch you and you like them and you not support them, you don't know this government if you not support them, only because of law, or is it they don't kill you already? Only because of law and God. You understand? We gotta watch this government. The next thing is with this government, you have to be aware of them. Because when you go to them with your ID, right? You go for borrow some money, you carry your ID or your business ID, they go turn you down. It's not being negative. It's what happening. They're gonna turn you down if they don't like you, if you not support them. Take your ID and give it to a FFF, friend, family, and favorite, and give them the backings, the money for run with it, and you won't get nothing. And then you're gonna sit down and watch and see, by look what the man doing there. You know, was I get the ID, but they turned me down, and yeah, this is how them stay. People don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. This whole thing here, as well as it might come to fruition, is a political stunt for just get the poor people who don't really understand or who not want check, who high not want for open, because they don't want to open them eye and see the truth. For you go and say, oh man, the PPP good, man, we gonna vote for them, man. Yeah, because they're good. Political stunt and wickedness and more money for them thief. That is what they're doing there. And lastly, now the last thing what the bank the analysts talk about, he say no interest can create a moral hazard. Well, let me explain a little bit what me understand. This moral hazard mean that you're going to lend people money and they don't have to pay interest. So they don't care whether they pay back or not. You understand? And people going to be coming up in this indisciplined way that now when they borrow, they don't have to pay. That is why I understand as a moral hazard. They don't care for payback, man. They just take the money from the government, too much big they could get, too much amount, and then we don't got payback. There's a moral hazard. So you're teaching people to be not committed to something. You know what I mean? So who you think, this is the last question, who you think the PPP are going to allow for create this moral hazard for borrow money and a payback? You think they're going to allow opposition supporters to do that? I want people to think and answer that question for themselves. Kadaki, thank you for allowing me for talk so long. But you know, certain things we have to really press it home. Let people understand. Who you think a greedy man, you think greedy man does give money and no one back nothing? Check it out. You know, no greedy man will give you money and not think of getting back something. Check it out. There is natural life. All right. Thank you very much for allowing me, and keep the good words up, my brother. I'm behind you all the way.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. I want to know why, if the government is giving cash grant and to children and to the citizens of Guyana, why is it that you have to take your picture, but you gotta be turning left, right? Are you being profiled? Are you a murderer? I don't know. But why you have to be taking and 15 minutes and 20 minutes and the man getting it right? Why? This is my face in front. You get it already. And then why you have to take my photograph when I present my ID card? This is, I am sitting in front of you. This is my ID card. I signed up. When time comes, when the check return or when the check comes, you have to go through the same process again. Turn left, turn right, turn front, turn back, lift up, bend down, hold the check and smile. So there's a handout, there's cash grant, there's because you care. That is for what? What is the reason for that? I haven't signed up as yet because I don't have a bank account. I have no intention going and opening a bank account because where am I going to get the money to sustain a bank account? People can barely live. People can barely eat. Everything is expensive. From 100 and something thousand, well, I'm not working. I'm self-employed, doing a little bit at home to sustain myself, and that can't even do what you're getting a little picking here and a little picking there. So Why should people go and open a bank account? Why the government is forcing its citizens to go and take out a bank account when you can't sustain a bank account? Because you won't go in and get this bank, walk to the bank and say you want a bank account and they sign you up. You got to get all kinds of things. The things that you have to get takes money. Things is getting bad to worse, not by the day anymore, is by the hour. God help us. We got to stand up. We got to unite together to make a change for all of us, because the government and them more power than the people. Because when they come to get your vote, they'll still use you power. But when they get in, it's their power.
Morning, Brother Kidaki, morning, viewers. Guyanese, when we gonna wake up in this country? When we gonna wake up as African people in this country? From since this PPP government going forward, you look how much people, look how much black people, this PPP, and the Guyana police force murdered. Nobody brought to justice. Nobody brought justice and pay the price for what them have done. Look how much murders happen in this country, and it continues to happen under the same PPP government back over and over again. Look how much youths lost their life under the police, and we just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Come on, Guyanese people, we got to wake up. We got to wake up. As I said, we getting a call every second of the day. We getting a wake-up call, and we not waking up. We just talking and talking, and that's it. How many more our youths we need to see gunned down and murdered by the police and the government of this day, the PPP and style government? Come on, Guyanese people, when we're going to wake up in this country called Guyana? When we're going to wake up? When we're going to wake up? Anybody was brought to justice under Jack Dio regime? The same thing going under Ali regime again. There's nobody holding accountable for these murders, all sweeping under the carpet. Look at Adriana, and you come down all the way. Nobody going to jail or face the time of the crime. What are we waiting for in Guyana here? What are we waiting for as black people? The coolie man, they may say nothing. Look how much churches we have in this country, different organizations in church. We have the Muslim, we have the Christian, we have the Hindu. We have all kind of churches, organizations in this country. Nobody coming out and saying nothing on a public platform or on the street. Nobody. What are we waiting for, Guyanese people? The Bible says eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. What are we waiting for? Let it begin. You can recall when you used to find policeman in the street. Let me get back to those days. And you will see what's going to be the outcome. That is what Jagio wants. Jagio wants a rift between black people in this country. The police and the civilian. That is what Jagio wants in this country. That's why we must murder each other. Let me go and do it. That is the only way this country can come to a halt. Life after being taken. Blood after being shed for this thing stop. How much more youths we waiting for? Folk has been murdered and buried. Come on, bro. What we waiting for, Guyanese people? Let we wake up and smell the coffee. This thing are painful to black people. At least it's painful for me. It's really hurting me to see the youths in this country, the future of tomorrow, the PPP and the police force killing, murdering. And they always saying they're gonna launch a thorough investigation when they've done nothing of the sort. These jokers that they had for Home Affairs ministers, these jokers from Buxtonian to this Crowley one, the hard case one that y'all just bring there. The minister of tint. Them people not gonna investigate nothing. Everything will sweep under the carpet. Guyanese people will wake up. There's a wake up call. Y'all want to meet at y'all back door for y'all wake up. At y'all door for it wake up. It's coming. Let me stop this thing. The policeman they're coming right back in the community. They're going to party. They got nightclubs with them this day in. Let me get them. Let me search for them. Let me deal with them. That is my take this morning. I'm hungry. I'm hungry of the situation in this country called Guyana. The youth them are going down every week. The police taking the youth and the PPP government, they say nothing. Then you feel yourself about awesome day. Let the war begin. It's time for war. Then you get peace. Long there's no peace, long there's no war, there's no peace. As long as there's war, there's no peace. Let's go. Let's go, fellas.
It's 4 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. You're still tuned to the Guyanese morning time. Let me remind you that the views expressed by callers and contributors to this program are their views, not mine. Please be reminded of that. We can take one call, voice note, or so before we close the program. 6225933 is the number to call. Don't forget, remember to go to the Square of the Revolutions 10 o'clock today. And join former MP Annette Ferguson as she continues to bring attention to the attempt by the PPP to resurrect the 2009 Former Presidents and Benefits Act. Caller, you are on. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Kadaki. I'm praying that people get this message about the act, former president's pension act, and get out on Monday. And it must not be Monday alone. It must be Monday onwards. That people must know every single thing. People must know that whatever we are against them, we out there and let them know that we ain't nice with them. We ain't nice people to them. To those that call him Mr. Granger name, need to stop. If you look or take a good look and see all of those that Granger put into that party, all of them have left and left a sour taste in that party and left a sour taste on people's mouth. All of them have spread a propaganda about how Aubrey Norton was this and Aubrey Norton was that. None of them are there today. From the FGM and the ones over at Win and the Harmons and everybody, they left just like their masters. Just like their master. Right? And as far as I'm concerned, he was one of the most selfish leaders ever to come out in that party. One of the most selfish persons. Never one day turned back after the 2nd of August, 2020, to say anything to the people that put him there, and you people are still looking to hear from him. He's as selfish as all of them that left, helped to destroy that party, and left. So stop giving his name and them who leave after him and with him, stop giving every single one of them name any credence. That's why I don't call none of them name. Have a good day.
I noticed Johnson Smith's son, or something like that, saying that the government is giving all kinds of opportunities and we're making all kinds of excuses. If that is what I read correctly. But people live their experiences, people can only reflect. Experience, they say, teaches wisdom. And so I don't know where Johnson Smithson lives. And what his experiences have been living under the PPP. But those of us who are here understand quite well what we're dealing with when we're dealing with the PPP. And so when you hear people say things about the PPP and they talk about what to expect or not to expect when it comes to dealing with the PPP, for the most part, they're talking from experience. So if they say that we don't expect that the PPP is going to be fair in the management of and distribution of the resources that they're making available through the development bank, they know very well what they're saying. Ask all them across this country, all them young black boys, especially and girls, who they told that they were going to give contracts. Ask them. You are going to get young people contracts and so on. Ask they make a comparison of the contracts given in Indo-Guyanese communities to Indo-Guyanese and make a comparison of contracts given to Afro-Guyanese in Afro-Guyanese communities and even Amerindo-Guyanese and so on and so forth. Ask around and see who gets what. See who gets what. See the rate at which you get paid as an Afro-Guyanese contractor versus an Indo-Guyanese contractor. Investigate those things. And then Johnson Smithson or whatever your name is, I can't recall exactly. I'm just calling a name. And when you have done that investigation, you can come back and tell us that the government is providing opportunities, but we're making excuses. Okay? Yeah, do that. Don't take my word for it. Or anybody else's word for it. Go do your own investigation, man. It's funny. What people say, don't see things in the daylight and then wait till night to look for them with jug lamp. If you look at the bill that is tabled for the establishment of this National Development Bank, or the Ghana Development Bank as they call it, immediately, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. One group of people will be controlling the management of this bank. One group of people. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, one person will be controlling the management of the bank because that one person, from my understanding, is the one who appoints everybody else, and this is the short cook. So my guy, Jane Tam, Jonas, Jupiter, 1,000 people with their names and faces out there, but at the end of the day, it's the finance minister who got the finals. Examine the behavior of the finance minister or the policies of the finance minister in this country over the years and see if it is intended to benefit everybody fairly. And then come back and tell us. It's times like these I just take the opportunity to remind you all that I come from Buxton background side. As one woman told me years ago, I might be cabbage looking, but I'm green. I lived long enough to see the PPP at work and to experience the PPP at work. As I sit here, I can tell you a story of the PPP when they paid out that very first cash grant. That very first cash grant. When they were up and down the coast, up and down this place, renting furniture from people for them to use in the buildings to pay cash grant and so on. There's still people, Afro-Guyanese, who have not been paid their money to those rentals. Because they rented from those people. And in the same terms and conditions like they rented from Indo-Guyanese. They just call them and say, we want you to supply this, supply that, supply the other, supply the next. Never told them about compliance and business registration and this and that and the other and the next. And at the end of the day, when it's time to come to pay them, they start to put up all of those barriers. You need to get compliance, you need to get business registration, you need to get this, you need to get that. Whereas when it came to the Indian suppliers, all they did is put all of them under one body, collect the money and pay them. So in the eyes of the public, yeah, why black people getting a hustle, but behind the scenes, black people getting shafted. And a lot of us don't like to admit that. Because we are humans. Oh God, we don't watch race. The race is a very dominant and present factor in everything that happens in this country. When the PPP is in government especially. Right, Johnson? Or whoever your name? If one don't know, you best ask two. I hired a young man the other day to do a piece of weeding work. This is a villager. He used to weed for me. Used to maintain my space and so on. And then the PPP comes to the village and said, "We giving a contract, right? We giving a contract, and I can't get this man for weed for me because the PPP give contract or subcontract. This man always busy." The other day I caught up with him. I said, "You ready for weed for me now?" He said, "Yeah, man. I think." I'm talking with him the other day when he went to do a piece of weeding for me. You know what happened? Up until now, he is paid. He's owed money. Up until now, he's owed money because we went into BV, where he had to do a piece of weeding, a weeding job. And he was showing me, he said, "Mr. Amsterdam, I had a contract to do this whole stretch of road, you know. This whole stretch of road, I was contracted to weed." I said, "You lose the work?" He said, I just had to give up because they're not paying me. Up until now, they owe me money for works that I've done since I was a boy. And there's only one of them, I guess, I would say honest enough to tell me his story because we are on that level of conversation. But I got enough of them walking around with their head bowing shame because they take set up from the PPP. The PPP, yeah, by the PPP give me a contract and think. I know of our young black youngsters who borrow money and invest in equipment and all kind of thing because the PPP promised them contracts and so. And up to now, they're in problems with other people because they can't pay their debts. They cannot pay their debts. But on the face of the things, yeah, the PPP giving Indo-Guyanese contract, they're giving Afro-Guyanese contract and so on. While the Afro-Guyanese, for the greater part, go and put themselves in all kinds of compromising positions to get to execute the contracts that they've been given. The PPP is financing the young Indian Guyanese and so on to get their contracts done, ensuring that they pay timely and all of that. I know a young contractor who anticipated he was going to get paid for works that were done, lots of money through Agile Ministry. Anticipated that he was going to be paid and so on, invested money in the import of a vehicle to facilitate his work. Part payment for the vehicle, when the vehicle reaches, he can't pay for it. Because as we speak, the ministry has not paid him for how long? Since Noah was a boy. So just when I talk and when we talk about these things, is lived experiences, partner. It's not sitting in a AC room or sitting in the comfort of a glass house and looking out and see everything looks shiny out there. It's not all. It's not like the boy in the wilderness crying wolf. It's lived experience. We know what we're talking about. I see somebody was asking earlier or saying they hope I didn't get caught up in the furniture rental scam that the government. I just tell people I'm not working for. I will not work with the government. When they were about to pay the last cash grant, somebody from the Ministry or Social Services or something called me because some a good villager recommended me as a man who you know, got little furniture rental and so on going on. And they called me about tents and chairs and tables. And I told them, quite frankly, I have no interest in renting the government anything. Some people might say, Mr. Amsterdam, you're separating your politics from your business. Yeah, I do separate my politics from my business. But I also learn from other people's experiences. Yeah, anyhow, it's time for this program finish. It's 11 minutes past 9 o'clock. Let me just leave it as that. Let me just leave it as that. But I will remind you all that, you know, I have a sacred duty to keep the eyes on the prize. The people must continue to be aware of what's happening. And this might be my anthem going forward for a while now. Lil Saints just stress them.
Alright, I say we ready for them. Walk out if you know, say you make an enemy, create a fake profile just to keep up with your lifestyle. I said they got hide behind the bar. Them can't come out with a real profile. So we gonna do them.
We gonna stress them. Post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gonna get it right. We gonna stress them. Post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. Get it right, hey. Some of them is witch, hate them bitch, man chewing shades, acting like gal. The more them hate, we the stand tall. To be a bold but man, you got brave bar. Some of them really puggle you and run your profile every day. Them should be before they utilize the time and make some money. They make you happy life a whole damn study. When you check them pages, cockroach. Them never got a man, them got a rose. Them must be the type comment anymore. Always talk them negative about your post. And when you check it, the fighting for likes. Just like, oh, they're fighting for them life. Yeah, still less than 100 likes. The more you talk, we just be popular. Stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they can get it right. We gon' stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they can get it right.
Walk out for your enemy. Turn wrong for your enemy. The enemies, middle fingers up for the enemies. They just got up on their mind when you're free. Them ain't never study breakfast nor tea. Everything on their mind is bout Barbie. Y'all ain't pushy level, y'all just know she.
We gon' stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gon' get it right. We gon' stress them, post more and stress them. Them not like we not like them. We to we self going back. Friend, they gon' get it right. Hey, when you check them pages, cockroach. Them never got a man, them got a rose. Them must be the type comment anymore. Always talking negative about your post. And when you check it, the fighting for likes. Just like, oh, the fighting for them life. Yet still less than 100 likes. The more you talk, we just be popular.